Chef Pepper here again, once again. Today we're going to be testing out our filleting skills. We have a nice fresh haddock here from Maine, and the head's already been cut off of it at the boat. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to fillet it, boneless fillet. It's not a J cut where you completely take out that belly flap. We're going to leave that belly flap because that happens to be my favorite part. See, in England we use that for fish and chips, yeah? But we're gonna go ahead and take you into how to fillet this. I'm using the same knife that I use to pretty much cut up anything. Meat, chicken, turkey. We have our steel. We're gonna make sure there's a good edge on that. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna take a look at this haddock. It's already been gutted. It's a beautiful fresh fish. It's about a 10-pound fish. So we're going to start with the nape. See the fin that's right here? We're going to cut underneath the nape, and we're going to go at an angle, almost, I'd say probably about 8 o'clock. We're going to go down at an 8 o'clock angle, and we're going to bring the knife back, and then we're going to use the actual fish anatomy. There's a soft line going all the way down the haddock. So now I want you guys to watch carefully because anybody can do this. It's not as hard as people make out. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to make that first cut, and we're going to go right up underneath what they call the nape. And then you hold that nape, get your finger out of the way of the knife, and then you make another one cut right down here. So now you've got, that nape is almost off. You can take that nape if you want and just pull it, and it comes right off. There's your nape, and that actually is good eating. We're going to save that for later. So now we're going to come and we're gonna run the knife all the way down the fish. I want everybody to take a good look at this. Take your knife and you just cut it right along the soft part of the fish. You keep it coming down all the way, okay? Run your finger up, and when you run your finger back up, you're gonna see the bones. All you're gonna do is you're gonna angle your knife down and run it right down along that haddock. And then you're gonna come back up, and this is the secret right here to how you cut a boneless fillet. You see how clean that is so far? The boneless fillet, all the pin bones are in the middle of the fish. So you're gonna run your knife straight up. Try not to pull on the fillet, but run your knife up to the skin. That's the skin right there. Those are the pin bones that are usually in the fillet. And then you're gonna go down. You're gonna run your knife all the way back down, not cutting away the belly. You wanna leave that belly on that fillet, and I'm gonna show you when we're done with the fillet how much of a difference it makes. Now what we wanna do is come down the rest of the belly bone, and we're gonna run the knife all the way through down to the tail. And your fish fillet is off. That's how beautiful your fish fillet is. There's a membrane that's on that belly part, and there's a lot of meat on the belly. A lot of people like to cut that belly right off. But this is my favorite part because it's all the bellies of fish are what they call toro. And that's the fattiest and the most flavorful part of the fillet to me. But we're going to come back to this. We're going to lay this over here for now. That's just a beautiful fillet. And there's no bones. It's completely boneless. When we skin that, you'll see the bone was left right on the carcass. See, so that's one side. Now the back side, we're going to do the same way. You make that 45-degree cut, and then you come back down at the top of the fillet, and the way you know that you've done it right, you take your knife, turn it backwards, and just pull. And look at how gently that nape comes off. It comes right off, and there's a lot of meat on this too. This is good for frying once you take that fin off. So now for the, you hold on to the fish. You don't want the fish to move. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna angle your knife towards the carcass on that same soft lining that fish is. And you've got to make sure that your knife stays nice and sharp. So what you want to do is you just want to hit it with the steel, and then you start cutting right in that soft part and run your knife right along that bone. Run it on that bone again. You can feel it. You can feel the bone. You see that bone right there? That's beautiful. You just run your knife until you get to that middle bone, right on that soft part of that tail. That's all you want to do is you want to just get it started. There you go. You don't want it to go under. You see that bone? You see how beautiful that is? That's all the bone that you need to expose. Now you take the fish, and the same thing that I did on the other side, without pulling the fish, we want to angle up so that we can get those pin bones that usually are on that fillet. And then we want to run it down just like an A, and run it down the other side, leaving the belly on the fillet, because there's a lot of really good toro meat, as I just said, on that. Run it down. You take your knife. Once it pokes through, just run it right down to the end of the fillet. And now you're left with your beautiful carcass. That you can use for stock. There's no meat on that. You take this and you just trim it up a little bit. That same black membrane, you want to take that right off the fillet. That's the belly part right there that we left on the bone. And it's a boneless cut, like I promised. There's no center bones in here. There's no bones in here whatsoever. That's all boneless. And then you take your little fin. Next, I'm going to show you how to skin this fish. Take that skin off, because don't forget, look, it's got skin on it. We'll lay it right on top of the fillet right there. And we're going to wipe off our surface. Rinse my hands a little bit so we can get ready to do that. I'll take a paper towel. And I'm going to wipe it's so fresh, it's got that beautiful fish slime on there. That's all that fresh stuff that's from the haddock right there. So we're going to wipe that up, and then we're going to go ahead and get ready to skin it. All right, so we start with the first one. Now, my skinning knife is a little different. You can use the fillet knife if you want, but I like to use my skinning knife because it's got bounce to it. It's got a lot of give and a lot of play. So we want to make sure that's got a decent edge on it, but you don't want it too sharp, because then it'll go right through the skin. We start right at the very bottom, and we angle it down, and then you make a seesaw motion. Flap it over. Do you see that right there? That's what you want. You want a nice, clean, white shine on the bottom of the fillet, so that you're not leaving any meat. Seesaw motion, angling it down, and that's what you want it to look like. When you're finished skinning your fish, you want the skin to be intact, and you want that beautiful fillet. Now that is a beautiful piece of haddock. Okay? I don't know if you guys want to make a purse for your wife or a nice pair of boots for your man, but you can use this haddock skin to do just about anything that you want. But this is a beautiful fillet. We're going to take off this little tiny bit of skin that's on the outskirt of the stomach. We're going to trim that, and now you can cut this in any kind of fillet pieces that you like. We're going to let this sit over here, and we're going to grab our other fillet, and we're going to repeat the process. We're going to do the same thing. These are boneless pieces of haddock. They're beautiful. Only in Maine. New England is awesome for this fish. Fresh haddock. What we call ground fish up here. Same thing. Seesaw motion. Get it, angle it down. And that's one of the reasons why you don't want your knife too sharp, because it'll cut right through the skin. But you don't want to leave any meat on that skin. You want all your meat on the fillet. And there we have it again, another beautiful fillet. And there's that awesome piece of skin. You can do anything that you want with that. You can make shoes, you can make a purse, or you can put it in some stock. But that's your beautiful haddock. It's all filleted out. Now it's ready to portion. When you have these big, thick loins, they call that captain's choice. That's the captain's cut. That's the thickest part of the fish. But this fish is so good to make fish and chips. It's delicious to make baked haddock, broiled haddock, steamed haddock. You can do anything that you want with this. You know, if you are Jamaican, you know, a lot of Jamaicans like their steamed fish. I love to all of my Jamaican brother out there with a nice steamed fish. If you want to put 2 onion and tomato on the fish and steaming down, you're nice. Everything nice with it. But I bet you didn't know Jamaicans from Britain can fillet like this. This is what we call fillets, isn't it? It's wonderful, mate. I hope you enjoyed the video. 2 thumbs up and a like. We need your support. We welcome it. We thanks very, very, very much for watching us, yeah? All right, then.